about the state of things in America in 1858. First of all, you'll remember we talked about chasm, right? It's a great split, a big divide in beliefs. And particular to right now, the chasm has to do with sectionalism, right? So identifying with one region or one section instead of the country as a whole. So north or south instead of America. And I'm going to make the argument there are 5 different reasons for sectionalism right now. The first of which being the economy. Lots of things are different with the economy in the north and the south right now. The easy way to put it is, in the north, we've got manufacturing, right? Factories, textile mills, and the northerners are really dependent on imports, exports, even the cotton from the south. Labor, wages, they're dependent on lots of different things. On the other hand, the South relies almost exclusively on slavery. The farmers are fairly self-sufficient. As long as they've got this free labor to run all their plantations, they're totally fine. So here's the farmer with his little bag of money from that. Well, what happens is in 1857, there's a panic, kind of like a depression, right? Prices go up, wages go down. There's no rules about this yet, remember? And only the North is really affected, okay? Because they're dependent on all the interchangeable things that make up an economy. The South, however, is self-sufficient. They're cool. The Panic of 1857 barely even affects them. And so what you want to know for Panic of 1857 is that it's a depression that really only impacted the North. And because it only impacted the North, the South took that as a cue, like, oh, we're better than you. Didn't we tell you? Slavery. It's the better way to go. Okay, so we've got one reason for sectionalism is the economy, and the differences in the economy. What else is going on right now? Let's see. Oh, this is number 2. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit and think about court cases and things that were going on by 1858. Remember the 15th president? James Buchanan? And remember when he got inaugurated, he spent like 5 minutes on the podium hanging out with the Chief Justice at the time. Remember Roger B. Taney? Chief Justice Roger B. Taney. And James Buchanan said, all right, well, now that I'm president, I support whatever the Supreme Court decides. Whatever they happen to decide, I'm totally behind it. And the big one is the Dred Scott decision. So number 3 is the impact of the Dred Scott decision. And what you really want to know is that now the federal court system is declaring this national precedent that not only are black people property, but the quote is that the Negro man has no rights that the white man is bound to respect. National precedent. So now abolitionists are even more enraged. How could the national government set a court case like that? So that brings me to abolitionists. Okay, remember our buddy with the crazy hair? Used to be a slave. He wrote The Liberator. And he would stand in front of the backwards, upside-down American flag, light the Constitution on fire. Remember this? Amen! Enraging all the people. Frederick Douglass. And remember that he said, in order for great change to occur, the great change that needs to happen, there also needs to be great struggle. So we've learned about Frederick Douglass, and we've talked about him, but for today, what you need to know is that he's predicting this great struggle that needs to happen in order for change to take place. That's 13. And abolitionists are 12. Okay? Ooh, so there's all kinds of predictions going on. What's going to happen in the coming years? Another guy making a prediction. Had just come back from the north, and when his southern buddies found out that he was being friendly with the Yankees, he went into this rage, gave a huge speech. No, I wasn't being friendly with them. I was just trying to feel out the enemy's strategy. I hate the Yankees. I hate the Northerners. And in fact, he made this prediction, right? In fact, if a Republican is elected president in 1860, the South will have no choice but to secede from the Union. No choice. So this is Jefferson Davis, remember? And it's important because the whole country would have known about this. Remember the telegraph? Instantaneously. We've got brand new modes of transportation and modes of communication. So the whole country is very aware of everything that's going on right now, almost instantly. Another thing that makes people very mad . Let's start here. Who's this fellow?
Stephen Douglas.
Stephen Douglas. And remember that he wrote not only the Compromise of 1850, but also the Kansas-Nebraska Act in 1854. Which said, by popular sovereignty, right, the popular vote, Kansas and Nebraska are both going to become states in the Union. And his main motivation for that was that he wanted the new idea of the Transcontinental Railroad to go through his home state of Illinois, and in order to do that, it would have to continue into Kansas and Nebraska, and they would have to become states. So he goes against the Missouri Compromise line and says, okay, cool, popular sovereignty will decide if Kansas and Nebraska become slave states or free states. So everybody's enraged, right? They flock in from the south, from the north, trying to stake out their claims, having boxes and crates of guns shipped in. Everything's getting violent and crazy. There are riots, there are mobs defending their territory, right? Border ruffians, we remember this, and bleeding Kansas.